morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I'm super excited because today I have Becca Cady, right?
Yes. Yes. My Instagram handle.
I'm so used to calling her Becca, so I never learned how to pronounce and spell correctly.
That's okay.
So it's
It's spelled
Cady.
yeah, it's spelled like Mean Girls. So
Oh,
like the main character, Katie,
Cady.
Cady.
So Becca is a strategy program designer and accountability coach
Yes.
who help clients discover and become the best version of themselves. If you have a goal, a dream, talk a lot about it, something that you have, but if you haven't act on it, she can help you make it into reality. And Becca came from a background from the beauty industry, developing programs, training program across several different business vertical, such as Estee Lauder, Philosophy, and Sephora. And Becca currently left the corporate space to pursue her lifelong dream of starting an entrepreneurial venture of her own. She serves as the founder of That's Be Human, which she will tell you a lot about it. It's a modern social coaching platform whose purpose is to store your faith in humanity through stories of connection, confidence, and belonging. Plus, there's some hidden coaching. And being a Gallup certified strength coach for 5 years, she discovered the key thing that propelled her to create Let's Be Human is that we're all human beings. We cry, we laugh, and we get angry all the same way, regardless of skin tone, gender, culture, etc. It's the differences of the skin tone, gender, culture, language that gives us variety and inspiration in this world would be celebrated. And I'm having goosebumps because when Becca was telling me about her project, I was so excited because I met her. Here's a little story about me and Becca. We go way back. We went to the same coach training program. We went through IPAG. Shout out to IPAG, great program. For those of you who's looking for to become a certified coach, definitely recommend that program. So she and I met through IPAG. and the minute I was talking about it on my podcast the other day, I'm like, the minute I walked in, there's like a pair of eyes just watching me in a very loving way. And so she and I connected. And the other day we kind of had a conversation together and she told me about her project, That's Be Human. I said, Becca, you need to be on my show. And she told me, her specialty is accountability coach. So I'm thinking, how do you go from being someone who's in the beauty industry going into accountability coach? And what does that mean, accountability coach? So I was wondering if you can share that with us.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for the intro, by the way. I'll totally say, but when I first met Michelle, it was like a meeting of the minds and the soul. Like, when you just like meet someone and you immediately click with them and they inspire you in a way that you're like, oh shit, like I got to step up my game. That's like Michelle to me, right? Like she consistently inspires me to like believe in myself and believe in what I'm capable of doing. But to answer your question, to go from like corporate to coaching, I've always loved people. Like people have been my passion from day one. And I wanted to just be able to like use skills to teach people tools that would help them to feel more confident. And so when I learned about coaching, I started like just exercising that skill a little bit more. I eventually like found IPEC. And then I really just wanted to dive in and be able to focus on individuals versus the major groups that I was focusing on, because at Sephora, we would work with 400 stores. And I wanted to start working on like an individual basis to help people really uncover, just when they're stuck, what do you do? And so I think that's the best way to describe accountability coaching, because without accountability, you actually don't get anywhere. Without accountability, execution really suffers. So if you're trying to complete any task, goal, anything that you want, if you're not accountable to yourself or to the project, then it's not going to work. Also, accountability really builds trust. And so without accountability, especially if you're dating someone, if you're in a relationship, or if you're in a team, without it, nothing happens and you don't build trust. And then also without having accountability, there's no way to manage expectations to get things done between people, whether that's a family, again, whether that's a relationship. And so there's all these ways in which not having accountability really doesn't serve you to get what you need, which is why I want to focus on accountability. And a lot of times it's really hard to make it a one-person job. Like as humans, we're so like perfectly imperfect. Like we're not designed to always take ownership of things and to be accountable for it. Like it's in our nature to not want to do that. So when you say I'm going to be accountable to a goal, it actually can be very challenging for some people to say, I am 100% going to do this, because a lot of times you need a partner. And you need that partner to help guide you, because you're going to have feelings, you're going to have emotions, you're going to have fear, you're going to have uncertainty, and you're going to have anxiety coming up, because a lot of times you're going in a place that you've never been before. And so you need someone outside of yourself to help withhold your own agenda, because a lot of times you're not going to want to uphold your own agenda, but you want the goal. So you need like a guide throughout the process to help you remove some of those roadblocks, and then also help remind you why you wanted to be on this track to begin with.
Yeah, I love that, because I totally reminded, because Becka is now not only my friend, but she's also my business partner. She's also my accountability coach, because last night I got stuck in Chicago. I was on a flight coming back home from a event that I was doing on the weekend, and I was texting her. I said, Becka, I'm having some thoughts here, because I feel like I need to create a post and just send it out there and let people know that they need to nominate me for TED Talk. And then Becka started saying all these things that accountability coach would do. She connected me. She created that trust with me, and then she set up my expectation in terms of like, okay, so you want to be a public speaker and you want to be in front of the audience. What the least that you can do is put up that post and then just send it out there, send it out to the universe. And she was just standing there and championing me and making sure that I'm putting it into words and taking an action in what I said I was gonna do. So many ways that Becka is my accountability coach. And I think we have that relationship in terms of, because she's starting her own business, and she's actually, we're working on a project on love and relationship. And we're like kind of helping each other out. I'm coaching her with the transition, and she's coaching me with accountability. I love this. I love that synergy between you and I.
I do too. And I'm so excited for you, like going after TED Talks. Like you need to do it. Like of all people to do it, you have to do it. You absolutely have to do it.
Yeah, see, she's holding me accountable again.
Yeah. I'm like, I think in the future you haven't created yet, and you're gonna do it.
I am going to do it. So going into what inspired you to wanted to do this? I mean, y'all started from somewhere, right?
Yeah. This is funny, right? So with accountability, I've always been really good at telling other people how they needed to be accountable, right? Like on teams and with projects that I worked on, it's really easy for me to see like what the opportunity is and also what the potential is, because I always believe that people are so like capable of so much more than they give themselves credit for. And I could always see that. And so if I knew that I could communicate that to them and actually tell them, usually it resonates somewhere. Like when you tell someone, like, I know you're fully capable of doing this, they usually do like this. Yeah, I've always wanted to, right? Like you just have to like provoke it within them. So I would do that when I was working on teams, like doing program design, because usually work with so many other people. It is not just like a one-man job. A lot of times I was better at helping hold other people accountable versus myself. So then that really took me down a path of like, well, what does accountability actually look like? What is it when you own it for yourself? What does accountability really even mean? I think it's a word that like we just like self-love sometimes, like there's these words that are like thrown out and everyone uses them, but no one really knows like, what does that mean to me on a daily basis? Like if I am accountable to myself and to my goal, like what does that even mean? So I really want to be like a voice for accountability, because accountability is the thing that makes everything work. Like the only thing that's like, not only, but like a really big thing that's standing in the way of the dream that you have and where you are today is how accountable you are to actually taking action to complete that.
And it makes sense because, you know, when you look around, like a lot of people they have goals, they have dreams, but yet, you know, when it comes to that execution part, it's where we kind of just fall short.
Yeah.
And we said we're going to do certain things, but, you know, we may do it for like a couple of hours, maybe a day, and then it just kind of died down. So we never really get from point A to point B without having that accountability on ourselves. And I totally agree with you. I think, you know, having someone, an accountability partner can, you know, modify, and not even modify, just refine, you know, what our goal looks like and how we're going to execute them. And I think that's really what a lot of people need. Which brings me to the next question. Who would be your ideal client?
Yeah. So my favorite clients are clients who are like stuck in a cycle or stuck in a rut. Like if you are someone who keeps experiencing the same day over and over and over again, and yet you don't know how to get out of it, or you don't know what you want, like you're in a place of indecision, right? You either don't know what you want, then I'm a great coach for you because I can help you clarify what it is that you want. And then we can take a look at what actions do you need to take to get out of it. Or maybe you're like me, even like last year, where I was like, how long do I hang on to this corporate job for before I jump into like coaching? What does this look like? When do I make the jump? When do I make the move? Anyone who's like teeter-tottering between like two options, I'm also a really good coach for. Because a lot of times we're just like getting in our own way, and you get so worked up over what your options are and what's happening that, again, like you just need someone else to help you like unpack it to figure out what it is that you actually want to do. So clients who are stuck, trapped in a cycle, they're my favorite.
I love that. And is there any so you obviously work with men and women who's finding themselves in that I'm stuck here, how do I move on? And you know, I said I wanted to, I don't know, open up a business, and here I am. I'm like in my late 40s, and I don't know how to start, and my cat just blocked my whole view. I love that.
Here he wants to join us.
Yeah, you have that energy of, you know, attracting things into your life, and I love that.
Yes. I know one person who I was recently working with. This is like a really good example. Like he's had the same career for a while. He's been super passionate about it, right? And that's why he actually like took the job. And there's nothing really wrong with his life. Like there's nothing where he's like, I'm grateful for what I have. But he's not like, this is the most amazing life that I'm living right now. And I love every day. I'm looking forward to every day. I'm super excited for what the day has to like bring. And like, I'm taking risks and things like that. Like that internal passion is just like missing. And so he's been a really great person to work with, because you don't have to just stay, IPEC will call it level 3, right? Where you're like, level 3, you're in your head. It's not really amazing, but it's not really bad. So that's also a really good place for me to work with a client, because with him, we're really taking a look at how do we get ourselves out of our comfort zone to then get clarity. Because a lot of times when you're stuck in that position of like, it's good enough, it's okay. No, you're actually not that happy. First, just admit that to yourself. You're not that happy. But what you need to do is start putting yourself in situations that you actually feel uncomfortable, so that you can start changing up the energy that's going on. Because the moment that you feel some of that energy of like, I don't really like this, guess what? That's some awesome energy that we can tap into to actually direct you in a place that you want to be
in. Oh my God, that sounds so amazing. And I really think that a lot of people can benefit from it, because, you know, a lot of us, like including myself, you know, I find myself in that situation where, well, you know, it is what it is, right? Well, I can't change anything. So I'm just going to do my best in this current situation, and then we'll see where it goes. And having that mentality really is a kind of like a disservice to us, because then we'll just continue doing the everyday routine. It's like everyday kind of mundane things that we'll just carry out throughout our life. And I may have dreams about becoming, you know, a writer. I may have dream becoming a, I don't know, music producer, you know, but you continue to go into that vicious cycle, and you never hold yourself accountable enough to say, you know what, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and just take a risk. And whatever that may look like, I'm willing to put in an effort for that.
Totally. And that's such a great skill to have, right? So like, don't get me wrong. You need to be able to go and be in those situations and say, you know what, it is what it is. That's a great coping mechanism to have. And a lot of people need to have that, where it's like, okay, cool. Like, great, I can cope. But if you take a look at your life and you've been coping for more than 6 months and you're doing the same thing, I think that's when to really take a look at it, where it's like, are you waking up every day and are you just coping? Like, we all need and have those situations in life in which we want to cope, right? And we need to. It's part of the learning experience. It's part of our journey. It's part of accepting life and figuring out how to work with it. So it's a valid skill to be able to cope. It's just when you take that coping skill and you use it for 6 months, 3 years, 6 years, and you start to lose what other options or opportunities are there outside of life, because now this just becomes your way of life and you're no longer really inspired.
Yeah. So since today's Monday, and let's give them a little Monday motivation, what would you say to someone who's currently sitting here watching us and he's feeling or she's feeling really stuck? Like, what would be one thing that you would say to that person? Of course, my cat has to come in again.
Besides, go to my website and just sign up for a free 30-minute consultation, and we'll figure out what your roadblock is. Do that. Seriously, go and do it. It's easy. You'll get value from it because you'll know what your roadblock is. Even if we don't work together, I'll still give you what it is. But if you're on your own and you're like, you know what, I really want to figure it out, take a look at the next situation today that you feel the most uncomfortable. That's going to be one of your biggest learning opportunities for something you can learn about yourself that will start to propel you in a new direction. So look at fear. Find one thing that you're fearful of today and put yourself in it and go through it.
And what's your website, so that in case that person is motivated enough right now, I want to sign up.
Thank you. Good call. I'm like, I think everyone knows where it is because I know where it is. It's www.beccacady.com, and my name is spelled Becka, and then my last name is Cady. Something that you can do too, I just thought of this. This was actually a tip that I learned when I was going through a program with Zuckerberg Institute, is taking a cold shower for even 30 seconds. It's something you don't want to do. It's something that sounds really uncomfortable, but the fact that you go in there and do it, even for 30 seconds, your energy completely changed. You build confidence in yourself. You feel better. It's actually great for your skin because you overcame something. So something so small that you can do every day is honestly taking a 30-second cold shower, because before you even left the house, you've already overcame something you didn't want to do or fear.
I don't know about cold shower, because right now I'm having a lot of thoughts behind the shower. There's that fear piece, right?
That's so normal. You're going to. Most people aren't like, hell yeah, I can't wait for that. No, that's the point. And I was exactly like that when I first got that instruction from our program. I was like, no, I am the girl who takes super hot showers. But then I went in there and I did it, and I was like, okay. You talk yourself up. You're like, I got this. 30 seconds. I can do anything. Here we go. So you go in and you do it. Great. And then what I realized was when I went back the next day, I was like, all right, cool. I can actually make it colder.
Mm.
So what happened is that the shower actually became a mirror for how I interact with life, where it's like once I actually complete something, I then try to make it harder. Like I don't celebrate myself for being able to actually do it. I'm always just trying to increase things to make it harder. So you might actually discover more about yourself by doing the shower exercise than you like anticipated. Just trust me on this. Just trust me.
You know what comes up for me right now is that you brought up a really good point. Stepping into cold shower, I think no matter what gender, ethnicity, any culture background, we all have that. We all think about, oh, cold shower. It feels cold. It feels fearful. It's something very uncomfortable. And which brings me to talk about, you're the founder of Let's Be Human.
Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with, we're all human beings. We cry, we laugh, we get angry the same way, regardless of our differences.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you can tell us a little bit about Let's Be Human. What is that all about?
Yeah. Let's Be Human is something that I'm like, it's like heart deep, right? Like it was like created for not only me, but also like everyone else in the world. I'm just like reveling in like how it feels because it's so meaningful to me, because I feel like we live in a world that tells you what to be. Like we live in this, and there's beauty to it, right? Like there's beauty in having this like curated environment on social media that we get to be like inspired by every day. Mm-hmm. And for so many years of my life, I feel like I was living and being something else that wasn't me, but society supports you doing that. And so I have gone through like self-help programs, like the Landmarks of the world, Gallup Strengths, like everything that I am able to offer to a client, I've actually gone through myself. And it really was just like for my own discovery to try to figure out like who I am and what I want. And what I realized at the end of the day is that like, we're all just the same, and we all want the same things. Like we all want to feel like we're unconditionally loved. We all want to feel like we belong. We all want to feel like we can create connection with other people. And I feel like we have all of these messages in society telling us that it's too hard to connect. People don't connect with each other anymore. They only connect via a phone. I call bullshit on that. That's just you not connecting with people who are in your life. Because guess what? I have great connections with people. I use the phone to do it, and I do it in person too, right?
Yeah.
The same with like belonging. Like we all have a feeling or a moment or moments in our life where we didn't belong. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I don't think that we sit down with our friends and we're like, you know what, where was a moment in our friendship that I made you feel like you didn't belong? Because a lot of times we have so much shame in that moment that we're not even communicating it with each other. Or the other person knows what it feels like and has shame, so they're not asking for it. So it's just these conversations aren't coming to light in a way that I know that these are like things that all tie us together and make us very similar and can connect us. And so I wanted to create a platform that also doesn't show you have to be happy all the time, because that's another misconception that I feel like the self-help industry has, or what people think coaches help you to do, is that you're going to wake up happy every day and that you have to think positive thoughts. And like, actually, I went down that path and then I realized I was just trying to control myself. So like, it doesn't always work the way that like people communicate it, that it's like supposed to work. And so I wanted to show a platform that also had range. That was like, you know what, you can still feel connected to someone when they're crying and they're sad and they felt like they didn't belong, just as much as you can connect with someone and feel good about the fact that they're happy and they're motivated. And so I also wanted to just be able to show the range of human emotions, because right now, like on the internet, you're really not seeing videos of people getting angry. Well, you are, but it's usually on the news. But like being able to connect, to be like, yeah, you know what, that pisses me off too, or you know what, yeah, that makes me feel really sad when that happens too. So yeah, I just want something that everyone can relate to, have a safe haven to just feel understood. That's what we all want. We just want to feel understood. So if there's a platform you can go to and you can read a story and either be inspired by someone else's journey, or maybe you read it and you connect to it and you're like, wow, I'm not alone, then I've done my job. If I haven't done that, you better send me a direct message and you better tell me this isn't that good, because then we got work to do.
I thought that was beautiful.
People hold me accountable.
Yes. I think that's beautiful, and that's beautifully said too, because I think going and I think we spoke about this, because when Becca and I connected, you know, she and I shared the same journey, and what's ironic is that, you know, she works in a beauty industry, and a lot of what she sees is about, you know, creating that beauty, beautiful hair, beautiful skin, and it's all that external things that we do to beautify ourselves. And when she and I connected, I don't have that beauty from the outside, or at least, you know, that was my perception of it. I didn't think that I was beautiful from the outside, and then that triggers my inner work. So I went into that, to have a lot of self-help, you know, trying to find my connection, kind of a belonging in the society, in my tribe. And through that process, I was looking for a platform really to express how I feel, to show my feeling, to be vulnerable, so that I can connect and belong somewhere. And so through that process, and I actually spoke about it in my book, which is coming out September 22nd. And I spoke about it. Thank you. I spoke about it, and I finally found it through internet. And you know, through internet, I was able to connect with a group of friends who share the same feeling, who share the same ideas, that looking for love and belonging. And I found it through internet. And what works on the internet is that it has a platform, and, you know, I don't necessarily need to present myself to them physically, and it creates a safety net for me, and I can safely dump that into that platform and share my true feeling with other people. And I thought by creating that, you know, a platform where people can actually become vulnerable and share their feeling, I thought that was beautiful. So the minute that she told me, oh, that's Be Human, I'm like, yes, I absolutely love it.
Oh, thank you. And you're not alone, right? Like, you're not alone at all. And what's interesting is I've had this reaction actually happen with women each time they meet me, because they know that I've worked in beauty for many years, and they think I'm going to immediately judge them based on what they look like. And I actually don't. Like, I care more about who you are on the inside, which is why I like Let's Be Human. There'll eventually be t-shirts and workshops, and we all have to wear the same shirt so that we're not focused on what we externally look like, because a lot of times that blocks so many people from either engaging, understanding, or learning about each other is by what they look like. And you know what's interesting is I loved working for Sephora. There's so many incredible things about working there. And they're great with like innovation and trend. And I felt like I was really able to stay on like the forefront of knowing like what's popular and what's not. And what the beauty of working at Sephora is that beauty is like, their belief is that beauty is meant for the other person to define, not for Sephora. And so I think that's so important to remember, is that we get to design what our own interpretation is of beauty. I think where it gets really challenging is when you have, you know, social media, where brands are and people are trying to like sponsor things and constantly push things like in your inbox, because your brain starts to pick up on those images to think that, oh, this is what the rest of the world looks like. And it's like, actually, no, that's just what your feed looks like when you scroll. Your best case is to go outside and actually take a look to see what the world looks like, because those two things usually don't match at all, which is really fascinating to think that like for some reason we give social media more clout over, oh, my hair is getting crazy. Speaking of external beauty, we give social media almost like it like has more weight or more clout than what we see in like the physical life. But I think a part of that is just because we're on it more. So we think that it's more real. I can rant about social media. I have so many opinions about it.
it's true because, when I was going through the feed, a lot of time those are the triggers for me, like looking at these beautiful products and beautiful bodies, it's really a misleading. And when people take selfie, even I do, I take 10 selfie in order to post one.
Ask everyone how many editing apps they have on their phone to get the pictures to look the way that they do, or the lighting that makes up a great photo. What's the most interesting thing about beauty is that you can use beauty a number of different ways, right? Like you can use beauty to mask something. So if you wake up in the morning and you're not confident in yourself, but you want to appear as confident, to appear as cool, to appear as collected, you can choose clothing and like makeup to make yourself look that way on the outside. But your actions will not align with what you look like. So people are gonna like, if you're in a meeting or if you're in a conversation with someone, you're gonna do a little like, oh, so, but you're gonna feel that something's like a little bit off. Or what is really cool is when you find someone who is really connected to themselves, who is like confident and trusts themselves. A lot of times they'll actually use beauty to enhance what they already have. So you see almost this like it's like this effervescent like beautifulness that's driven from the inside, but it like, because there's makeup too, it like sparkles on the outside. And I've always seen that within you, is like you have this internal like beauty and energy around you that like you don't need an external product in order to give you more of that like beauty, because I think beauty is actually a very, very powerful energy based in belief. And if you have trust and confidence in yourself, you radiate that regardless if you have lipstick or mascara on. And the way that you can see it too is how well people are attracted to you, not like intimately like wanting to like hook up with you, even though that's the case too, but like if they reach out to you, if your phone's blowing up with people wanting to talk to you, or if like you're at an event, people just want to walk over and talk to you, which is when I walked in the room, it kind of sounds creepy, but I was like, who is this person? Like, your energy just immediately drew me to you because there's beauty in your essence and it's very strong. So I was like, I'm always attracted to very beautiful things. Hence like, my plant.
Aww, it's Becca's new friend. Have you decided a name yet?
No, I know it's like a female though.
It's
like she knows me, we hang out, we get work done together.
and Becca was telling me that when she got her, the plant was actually hugging her.
Yeah. I have this weird thing with plants lately. And anyone is willing to judge me because of this. But you know how some people are able to like really feel connected to other humans or also like animals?
Yeah.
I'm very connected to animals, other humans, but plants are the latest thing, because when we were like walking, this plant for whatever reason would not stop. Like it's touching my face. Like even when I was like holding it like this plant would like bend to like try to like put its leaf on my face. And I don't know if you saw my Instagram yesterday, but I have two plants that I put sitting next to each other. And within a matter of like minutes, the one reached over to like try to touch the aloe plant. And so like, I just pay more attention to your plants. They're living and doing things without you knowing. Because I'm like, I keep having all these like experiences with plants lately. I don't know.
That sounds really foo-foo.
Doesn't it? It sounds like I'm like crazy. I live in San Francisco, so I'm a little hippie.
What are you having in your coffee? That's what I want to know.
Exactly, just coffee.
So we have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
So we know that you're an accountability coach. We know there's a platform called Let's Be Human. What is your next step?
Yeah. So my next step is really just inviting people to sign up for 30-minute consultations with me. I think that's always the best place for us to start, is to really understand individually, like what's going on in your life. What's the problem? What's the challenge that you have? And then let's talk about it. Let's figure out what the roadblock is. And then we can either decide to work together and move forward, or I can leave you with your breakthrough and you can be on your way, and maybe that's all that you need. So you'll see me talking a lot more about like accountability more. I'll probably be creating like some videos around it and like what accountability means to me and how that's representative within the platform. And then also for Let's Be Human, we're still going to be like pushing out content. So today we have like a new post. Those go live on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so you'll see this like beautiful collection of like an inspirational quote. You'll also see someone's story that relates to confidence, connection, belonging. And then you're also going to get a tip. So within a week, you're going to be able to be inspired, feel connected, and have something actionable that you can actually do that week, that day, that hour to add more confidence, connection, or belonging into life.
And where can we find Let's Be Human?
Yeah. So Let's Be Human is on Instagram. It's at let's_be_human. If you follow me on Instagram, you can also find it through my own page there as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
And Becca and I are doing a project.
Yes.
High five to that.
This is going to be so much fun. So much fun.
Right. You want to tell them a little bit about our project, what that looked like?
Yes. So for the past couple of weeks, Michelle and I have been meeting to have these task force sessions. That's what we're calling them. We find them to be very powerful, inspirational sessions. And what we're going to be creating is a 6-week mini series all about relationships. And what we mean is that you are going to be able to learn some of the barriers that are blocking you from creating relationships, whether it's in dating or just even some tools that you can learn to apply in your existing relationship. Because what we want to help you do is raise your energy in the area of love so that you can actually attract in more love into your life, a partner, or enhance your current relationship.
I love it. And you know, Becca called it task force. I really called it like our hangout time. So every week, you know, I get to see her on Wednesday. You know, I'm her coach in transition. She's starting all these business, and you know, she has these great ideas. And I'm coaching her around some of the, you know, the inner blocks that she's having, like guilt, for example. We did guilt last week.
Yeah, that was totally one.
Yeah. And it's just really super exciting because I feel like love and relationship, it's not just pertaining to that intimate love and relationship. It's really about, you know, human connection. And a lot of it ties down to, you know, that's be human. If you're human, you have a relationship with anyone. You know, she and I is having a relationship, and our friendship just grows stronger and stronger every single day. And I love it. So when is our project coming out?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Is that September 12th?
I think it was September 10th. We're gonna have to talk on Wednesday.
Seriously. I don't know the date actually off the top of my head. You probably know that better than I do. But some of the top, what I do know is that some of the topics that you can look forward to hearing or seeing and learning from us is, you know, what are those barriers that you put up when you're in a relationship based in love? Some of that's self-judgment. Some of that's self-acceptance. Some of that is just comparison. You know, we're going to really like get down and talk about how do these things like show up in your life, because I think a lot of times we think that we know more than we're actually applying. So you might think like, I got this. I accept myself completely. I don't judge myself. Come and sit through a session with us, and I guarantee we're going to find some ways in which you're not accepting yourself and you're judging yourself. Again, have trust. Join us for this session, because even one session, I feel like, is going to help to raise your energy. It's going to change the way that you look at relationships. And we want to help you to be able to do that.
Awesome. That's awesome.
What are you most excited about with our mini series coming up?
I think I'm most excited about, you know, what's happening is behind all these projects putting together, all these topics putting together. I think it comes down to, you know, connection and having that sense of belonging. because I feel like we walk into a relationship, we all wanted to belong somewhere, you know, we all wanted to feel love. And I think by letting go and working through our 6-week mini series, you can really unblock that feeling of you're not being loved, you're not being seen, you're not being known. And that really has to do with what we're talking about, like that judgment against ourselves and others. And it has a lot to do with, you know, not accepting yourself for who you are and seeing your true beauty. So I'm really excited about the topic that we have created, that we're about to, you know, share with the rest of the world. And it's how synergistic that's going to work. I'm really truly excited about that.
We didn't just want to like reflect on how we're even like communicating it. I'm like, sign up, do it. It's like good cop, bad cop. And you're like, you're going to feel connected. You're going to feel belonged to. Here's the cool thing. When the two of us get together, it's magic, because either you're going to connect to both of us, you're going to connect to one of us. But we totally are so good at like balancing each other, which is so amazing. That even if you're like, my love life is perfect, you're going to be entertained.
Yeah. And you know, honestly, I don't think anyone is perfect. And I just get a talk this past weekend. I said, you know, I walk into the room, I'm like, we're not perfect, and no one is expecting us to be perfect. And you can't do everything by yourself, which is true. And I can't do everything by myself, you know. So I'm a transition coach, and Becca is an accountability coach. And we really to, you know, create that whole balance, that wellness, to create that whole picture. So I need Becca. I need Becca to hold me accountable, to have expectation and partnership and trust and connection. I need all that. This is why I need her. One last question for you, Becca.
Yeah.
If you were to summarize your future in just one word, what would that word be?
Ooh. Summarize my future. Honestly, abundant. It's going to be abundant. Yeah. Can I explain why?
Yeah, of course. I'm sitting here waiting.
I know that my future entails a lot of abundance in terms of people and emotions and connection and bringing it together. Like, I know part of why I'm doing what I'm doing is to bring groups of people together. And so it's going to happen in a very abundant way. We're going to be sharing things in a very plentiful, abundant way. And by doing that, we're going to just be able to see together how powerful we are as a collective, and what we can actually do together when we are aligned and recognize that, guess what? Like, we're all the same. We're all the same. So abundant is what's going to happen.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. What about you?
So beautiful. For me?
Yeah.
For me, I would say abundance too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I asked that question, you know, that word really came to my mind. I'm like, she is totally going to say abundance. And of course, this is how she and I connect.
Yes. Yes.
She's my soul sister.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you.
Let's remind everyone again where to find you.
Okay, so you can find me at www.beccacady.com. Just my name's spelled at the bottom of this, so you can use that to make it easy for yourself. And then just to get some inspiration today, we have a new post that went live on Let's Be Human. So that's at Let's_Be Human.
Yay! Becca! Mwah! Have a great Monday. I shall see everyone again next Monday at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Bye.